Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your Ultra Agent of the Ultimate Action, X7, the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. It is Thursday today, and today we will be looking at two more Ultraman episodes. And one is, great, and one of them is just bizarrely weird in a very cool way, but I'm glad they didn't do it that often. So without further ado, grab yourself a big old stack of wheat cakes. No, get yourself a big old bowl of hummus of perfection, your favorite delivery tool. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Ring the notification bell on YouTube so you never miss another video. We do them daily. We're at 280 subscribers. Let's get to 500, all right? And having said that, let's move on to the episode 16, the Science Patrol in Space. Ultraman. All right, so we start out here with the rocket ship. I don't remember what this rocket is. Dr. Mori's rocket ship. One's the Phoenix and one's the Otori, I believe, according to the English dub, but it's been a minute since I've watched. Sue me. He's going to Venus or Mars. It's Venus in the Japanese dub, so we'll just call it that. There it is. These are beautiful miniatures. I mean, you're just watching on television back in the 60s, you're probably thinking those are real. Hayata's there to monitor the spaceship as it leaves Earth's atmosphere, and I don't know which mecha this is. Let's see if I can find it in here. It doesn't say so. This episode, the Science Patrol into space, or the Science Patrol goes to space. It's the first time they've gone off the Earth. Yeah. And it was first broadcast October 30th, 1966, directed by Toshihiro Iijima. And he also did the next one. The special effects were by Koichi Takano. So Toshihiro did both of these two episodes. So they kind of look similar, but not the same. So off he goes. I wish I knew the name of this. It's not the VTOL. Hoshino there runs into the Science Patrol headquarters. He's crying because Dr. Iwamoto, played by Akihiko Hirata, is not the first one into space. Both Ito and Arashi give him a good dressing down for being such a baby. But all science is done to advance science. All accomplishments and achievements are to advance science. So the reporters are talking to Dr. Iwamoto about it, and he's saying the same thing. And now they're saying, go, suck it up, guy. So there's Dr. Mori, the doomed Dr. Mori on his spaceship. He's going to have some food, which Ito mimics while he's watching, which is a little weird. And guess who shows up? The Alien Baltan, which now I'm annoyed because I was going to pull up the sound effect of them to play because that laughter is amazing. It came from the Matango, or Attack of the Mushroom People, as AIP TV so lovingly called it, but it's far more. It's better known as the Bulton laugh. Let's see if we can just even get a bit of it here. Oops. So there you go. Once again, it's adapted from Matango, but it's not exactly the same. And then the Baltan tells the Science Patrol his plans. That he's going to come back and conquer Earth, and they can't do anything about it. There's the Baltan ship, which is now a blue sphere of light, as opposed to an actual ship from episode 2, which is very cool. I like the lighting here. It flies into the back of Dr. Miro? Dr. Mori. No, Miro is the former Rusev. But Mori and VTOL cockpit, so they got to get up there and rescue him, and they need a ship to go into space, but it's too late. Baltan possesses Dr. Mori. This is a cool little scene. And there's a new gun here that Ito's invented. It has a name, and once again, they don't tell me the mechas here. So, or the guns. And now Mori sends the tiny Baltan to Earth to go attack it. There's the ship with its accoutrements, now able to fly into space, accoutrement, which we'll see later in later episodes when they fly into space. Well, episode 35, maybe, and for sure, the Graveyard of Monsters. The Boltons are being ejected from their little ship. They're going around blowing things up. It's the Mars 133, I guess. And Ito can shoot one of them out of the sky at the time, but he's having a hard time. The Bolton have attacked the ship, the Science Patrol ship. It lands on what I assume to be Venus, although it's a very temperate Venus as opposed to the real one. And Mori turns into the leader of Bolton. There's Hayata there, and you know what's going to happen. Using the Beta Capsule, Hayata becomes Ultraman. It's such a great effect. This time he's prepared for the Spacium beam, which reflects it right back into Ultraman's face, and he's not immune to his own beam, which is kind of interesting. A lot of times heroes are sometimes heroes are immune to their own powers, but not Ultraman. He lands, and while he's disoriented, the Bolton has a new weapon here, using generating wind or air from its claws. But it doesn't matter. The shredding halo slices this Bolton straight in half. Both pieces fall to the ground. A dead husk. Boom. This is the second appearance. The first time we've had the second appearance of a monster from earlier, an alien. Really, it's not a monster; it's an alien. And the Bolton would later appear in Return of Ultraman, and I believe Taro, maybe, and then Ultraman 80, and then have appeared continually since then as kind of the Joker to Ultraman's Batman. Just a constant nuisance. And I know the Joker's a homicidal maniac, psychopath, etc. Some Jokers are. I'm starting to lean into the three Jokers theory, three or more. So while they're fighting on Venus, they must have launched at this time because Venus would be close to Earth, so it wouldn't be so far to travel. But the Bolton are still wreaking havoc, blowing things up, which I believe is footage taken from the Petroleum SOS footage. There's a lot of exploding refineries. I mean, if you don't have that ridiculous starfish monster in it, you wouldn't even notice. Ultraman, using a heretofore unknown power, teleports himself from Venus back to Earth. And the dubbing in the US version says he uses up a lot of power here, but really he makes short work of the Bolton all gather together into one, and the shredding halo can't penetrate its force field or light field or whatever you want to call it, prism. But then he's dumb enough to fly out of it, and Ultraman slices him in half, and then Spacium beams him, and the end. He flies away. You're using this an outdoor shot here, so it's really nice to see him flying, probably Lydecker style, into the sky, a real sky. And then the Otori, piloted by Iwamoto, lands on Venus, collects everybody. Lovely shots here. Forced perspective probably on this one. Not that one, though. That's a process shot. Forced perspective. This is in the front. They're in the back. Looks great. And they fly back, going back to Earth. That's it. They recover. Hayata apparently gets transported right back to, he had to go back to Venus, or his secret would be out. Which, once again, I don't know why it had to be a secret, but probably wasn't the worst idea. So there's episode 16. It's rightly considered a classic. I think it tops the first Bolton episode, gives them a little more background. And now we're on to episode 17, which is the most bizarre, entertainingly bizarre episode. Passport to Infinity. That's Sir Yesterday there, played by, let's see if I can find out. Boy, this has a lot of documentation. Let's see, Sir Yesterday is his name in the English dub. Let's see if I can find out yesterday. Hans Horneff, so probably a German. He's dubbed into Japanese here, but he's called Sir Yesterday because he's probably Yesterday-san in the dub. Hoshino plays a large part in here, so there we go. So he's inspecting this weird rock, which comes to life and teleports him away. Now we have the Science Patrol is in action, sort of. They're just kind of reading, they're studying stuff. Ito's got a huge book that he's reading. It's got to be dictionary sized or maybe that last Harry Potter book sized. Fuji, again, is at the communications desk, and the chief, Captain Mura, is just doing whatever Captain Mura does, bossing him around. He sends Ito and Arashi out, and they find Sir Yesterday in a field after his housekeeper says he's disappeared. And they talk to now there's a red stone that they find, and then there's a green stone that they find, and they're dumb enough to bring them all together. And everyone that's studying these is having incidents of altered reality. Now, I'm not 100% sure that the stone isn't just affecting their minds and making them think that this is, or if it's actually altering reality around in a warping reality. Take your pick. It really doesn't matter. It's all the same. So that poor guy sees this when he looks through the window, which is bizarre. The first time I saw this episode in a grainy, third or fourth generation dub. Happy to see it because that's all we had back then. You couldn't even tell what this was. But this little part here is moving, swirling back and forth. Super imaginative visuals in this one. And they're having a discussion here. People often think that Hoshino's Fuji's younger brother, and it kind of pretends to be that way in the dub, but it's never said so. And look, he's almost as tall as she is. So I just like this shot because the guy jumps through he opens a door and he falls out into the grass. And it's a nice outdoor shot. It's geodesic dome there where, Apu doesn't find home because who needs the Quickie Mart? Hayata, I think that's Hayata who throws the blue stone right through a wall and it just keeps going. It just goes disappears. Starts out and then they find it outside right in front of I just like their shot of the car here with its license plate. And now Hoshino is, that's Agent DA right there. He's just going to have to wait a minute. So yesterday's talking to Hoshino and they're having tea. So one would think he's English, but he's really not. He's German. And telling him about his experiences. They're having another discussion here, and Fuji's telling Hoshino to go away, and then he turns around, and there is our creature thing geodesic monstrosity of the week called Bulton. So we had the Bulton and the Bulton. There's Teruo Aragaki is in that. I think he's probably appeared in many Ultraman suits when Nakajima-san wasn't available. He was Bemlar in the first episode. This is a very straight. We'll see. Warping reality. Probably should have had dancing on the ceiling pulled up here too, shouldn't I? They're singing "Oh, What a Feeling," and there it is in all its radiant glory. It's oddly wet, so I'm assuming that's glycerin just to make it look wet, and then it goes on about its business, warping reality all around it. The tanks are called in and the fighter jets to no avail. Lovely miniatures again. Fortunately, it's outside. It could have broken through. Look at how it's huge compared to the Science Patrol headquarters. It's almost the same size. If we go back here, right? Yeah. Now it's a little further away, so it's closer to the camera. So it's probably not quite as big as it looks there. Tanks firing. Nice effects there. There's its Zappy Ray. Zappy Ray brings them down, makes them disappear, and then it opens the ground and swallows all of the jets and the tanks, then sometimes brings them back. So the tanks are tiny. And using the Beta Capsule, Hayata has become Ultraman. He's had all he can stands, and he can't stands no more. So it proposes a bit of a problem because if it freezes him. That stops him right in his tracks. We will see this again later on in a different episode. Similar shot. and it spins him around, right round, baby, like a record. Spins him around, drops him in the ground, but finally he just zaps it, and uh, kaboom! Turns into a tiny little stone again, and crunch. So I'm still inclined to believe it's not really altering reality as it is the people around it seeing what they're seeing, except for the fact that it made tanks disappear and planes land on the ground without. But it killed a whole bunch of people. That's all there is to it. Once again, he's out in the sky. The director, same guy, of course. So it makes me think that they, shot this 2 or 3 times in the same with the same camera. Then they find Hayata passed out. Hoshino's like, "What's wrong with you?" They want to give him a reward. And what do you suppose Hoshino wants? He wants to be a member of the Science Patrol, and now he is. And I think, yep, that's it. So 2 fun episodes. We have 1 or 2 more episodes that are really kind of are clunky. One coming up 16, 17, probably. Yeah, probably 19, 18, 19, 20. The one with Hydra. I'm just going to tell you. I look forward to seeing a beautiful copy of it, but it's just kind of a weird episode that doesn't hit me in the right spot. So, my fellow agents, just hang on to your beta capsules in case you need them, because if you encounter a reality warping monster, you're going to need it. Until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off. From a distant planet, comes a hero.